All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Officer Paul Cruz, Wichita Police Department Public Information Officer with the Public Relations Unit. Today, we are here to kick off the You Drink, You Drive, You Lose 2018 campaign. Today, I want to welcome everybody, the media, all law enforcement agencies that are here with us today. We're here today to make our roads and communities safer for all Kansas and inform the public that alcohol and drinking and driving do not mix. Impaired driving is no accident, nor is it a victimless crime. And one of the things that's unique about this campaign is that over 150 agencies across the state of Kansas will be focusing their efforts in DUI enforcement. Some of those agencies that are here with us today include the Sedgwick County Sheriff's Department, Shawnee County Sheriff's Department, Topeka Police Department, and Kansas Highway Patrol. On top of that, we also have the Wichita Police Department Motor Unit, who's also here with us. And today, we're going to be kicking off this campaign. To do that, I'd like to invite Chris Bortz with the Kansas Department of Transportation Traffic Safety Program Manager. Chris?
As Officer Cruz just mentioned, we are here to kick off the You Drink, You Drive, You Lose campaign. It's part of a national effort, and we're here to talk about the state role in that. It is sponsored through a grant through the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. So once again, you're going to start seeing a lot more advertising. You're going to see a lot more interaction with law enforcement. The campaign will run through September 4th, the Labor Day holiday weekend. Once again, law enforcement across the state will be conducting additional enforcement targeting the impaired driver. I like to say the word additional because we know that our law enforcement partners are always out looking for the impaired driver. This is going to be an enhanced effort on the current efforts that they're currently engaged in. In Kansas, nearly 1 in 5 of all traffic fatalities involve an impaired driver. In 2016, there were 26 drunk driving crashes and 1 fatality over the Labor Day weekend. We're targeting 0 and 0. Once again, we want people to get home safely. Males 18 to 34 are the biggest offenders. Okay, we certainly have data to back that up. They think they're invincible. Likely, an impaired driver has driven impaired before, so they think that they can get away with it. They think they may be indestructible. They are not. The impaired driver is putting everybody on the road at risk. In 2017, male drivers accounted for nearly 80% of all impaired driving fatalities and 70% of all impaired driving injuries in Kansas. Impaired driving is 100% completely preventable. Drunk driving is a serious crime, and this campaign is designed to bring greater awareness to the problem and eliminate impaired driving. In Kansas, you drink, you drive, you lose. Next, we're going to hear from Jared Blecka of Salina, who knows firsthand what you can lose if you drink and drive. Jared?
Good morning. My name is Jared Blecka, and I want to thank Officer Cruz and all the other agencies for the opportunity to speak today. As Chris mentioned, I'm from Salina. I just want to briefly share my story as a drunk driver. I can certainly assure you that if you drink, you drive, you will lose. I certainly did. 11 years ago tomorrow is the anniversary of the crash that I caused. And I want to emphasize that it was a crash. Like Chris said, drinking and driving is 100% preventable. What I did could have easily been avoided had I made the right choice, but certainly I did not. A little bit more about me is I was in the Air Force. I had been honorably discharged just a couple of weeks before the crash. I was an Air Force attorney, and I was even stationed here at McConnell Air Force Base for 2 years. When I say you drink, you drive, you will lose, I want to share with you what I lost. I lost my career, the opportunity, the ability to practice as an attorney, and my license to practice law. At the time of the crash, I had a job that I could have taken that paid well over $70,000 a year. That was in 2007. So all the opportunities that come with that job and my career that I would have had as an attorney have been lost. Not only did I lose, my family lost. My son, for example, I don't have the ability to save up for a college fund for him. All the family vacations that we could have taken, all the memories that would have been created, all the fun we would have shared, they've all been lost because of my choice to drink and drive. Finally, I really can't emphasize enough, again, that drinking and driving is a choice. I was 34 when it happened, well within the age group that Chris spoke about. And again, 100% preventable. As I end, I simply just want to say that if you drink, you drive, you will lose. You've heard a little bit of what I lost, and hopefully somebody can take away from my message and not make the choice that I made to drink and drive. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Sergeant Hancock.
Jared, thank you for sharing your story with us today. As Jared said, my name is Sergeant Jess Hancock, and I'm with the Wichita Police Department. I am the supervisor of our third shift traffic section, and I currently supervise 7 impaired driving specialists. I'd like to thank the Wichita Police Department command staff for bringing that unit into existence. We're new, and we're part of our centralized traffic bureau that reports here at City Hall. Our team is largely a part of 16 new motorcycles that were generously funded through a grant through the Kansas Department of Transportation. Officer Brandon Hall is one of the officers who's assigned to our unit. He's a nationally certified drug recognition expert and an impaired driving specialist who works directly for me. I've asked Officer Hall to come here today and share a few comments about our section. Thank you.
I'm Officer Brandon Hall with the Wichita Police Department Traffic Section. First, I'd also like to thank KDOT for the assistance in helping us get our traffic section up and running, so that way we can be able to go out on nights and enforce the impaired driving situation that's occurring across the state and across the country. The 2018 You Drink, You Drive, You Lose enforcement campaign includes a Labor Day holiday weekend. With NHTSA support, state and local enforcement agencies across the nation are stepping up enforcement to put an end to drunk driving. More than 150 law enforcement agencies across Kansas are joining forces to pull over motorists who show signs of impairment as part of a national campaign that runs from August 16th through September 4th, Labor Day weekend. As Jared shared, the consequences of driving impaired can be grave. In Kansas, impaired drivers cause about 20% of traffic fatalities. Kansas averages nearly 3 people injured every day and 1 person killed every 4 days in alcohol-related crashes. In 2017 alone, Kansas saw nearly 2,000 impaired driving crashes where at least 1 driver was 0.08 blood alcohol concentration. Of the total fatal crashes in Kansas in 2017, more than 19% were alcohol-related. Approximately 1/3 of all traffic fatalities in the United States involve drunk drivers with a BAC of 0.08 or higher. In 2016, there were 10,497 people killed in drunk driving crashes, an increase from the 10,265 people killed in 2015. Nationally, in 2016, approximately 1 in 5 children, 14 and younger, killed in traffic crashes were killed in drunk driving crashes. 54% of the time, it was the child's own driver that was at fault. Despite the fact that it's legal to drive with a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or higher, 1 person is killed every 50 minutes by a drunk driver on our nation's roadways. During the 2016 Labor Day holiday period, there were 433 crashes nationwide that involved a fatality. 43% of those crashes involved drivers who have been drinking with a blood alcohol content of 0.01 or higher. Of those alcohol-related fatal crashes, more than 36% involved drivers who were over the 0.08 legal limit. 25% involved drivers who were driving with a BAC almost twice the legal limit of 0.15. Among drivers between the ages of 18 and 34 who were killed in crashes over the Labor Day holiday period in 2016, 47% of those fatalities involved drunk drivers with BACs of 0.08 or higher. Impaired drivers face up to 1 year in jail, suspensions of their daily driving privileges, fines and other costs that can range up to $10,000, as well as mandatory installation and monthly fees for an ignition interlock device on their vehicle. Financial impact from impaired driving crashes can be devastating. The latest statistic based in 2010, impaired driving crashes cost the United States $44 billion annually. Remember that it is never okay to drink and drive, especially if you've had just 1 alcoholic beverage. Please set up a designated driver. You also have the option to download NHTSA's Safe Ride mobile app that's available on Google Play or the Apple iTunes Store. This allows you to contact taxis or other ride services, which can also give them your GPS location to locate you. If you see a drunk driver on the roadway, please contact local law enforcement so we can attempt to apprehend these drivers. If you have a friend that is about to drink and drive, take away their keys and arrange a ride for them. We are serious about getting drunk drivers off the road. Today through September 4th, once again, more than 150 law enforcement agencies across Kansas are joining forces to pull over all motorists who show signs of impaired driving. We're driving to 0 fatalities in Kansas and the safest roadways in the nation. Alcohol and driving don't mix. In Kansas, you drink, you drive, you lose.
Once again, the theme of the mobilization is drunk driving. However, I would like to take a short opportunity to remind everyone that drug driving is also against the law. And that includes under the influence of marijuana. We know it's out there, we know it's prevalent. We really want people to make good decisions to not be impaired behind the wheel. Every time somebody gets behind the wheel impaired, it's a problem for everyone. Do your part, don't drive impaired. Stop your friend or loved one from getting behind the wheel. You know, if you're having a party, you know, let them spend the night, okay? Different things like that. There's lots of opportunities we can get to get that impaired driver off the road. And lots of opportunities we can do as a community, as friends and family to get better decisions. We'd like everyone to make it to their destination safely. I did want to take a quick moment and highlight the vehicle. We talk about choices. Obviously the impaired driver has one of two choices. We're hoping they go with the $15 taxi ride and not the more expensive, as referenced earlier, impaired driving, the expenses that are incurred with that, and not only the danger to everyone else on the road. Don't let one bad decision impact the rest of your life. Once again, on behalf of KDOT and our law enforcement community, we'd like to thank everybody for being here today to share this important message. Are we good with open up questions for the speakers we've had right now? Okay, so once again, we're going to kind of open it up. If you have specific questions for any of the speakers, we can go from there. I'd probably know that Officer Cruz, I think, has probably got a few other things to speak, or Wichita, to talk about it at some point. But once again, we'll open up for questions from the media. So, we have any questions or comments at this time? All right, sounds great. Once again, we do appreciate everybody being here today, helping us spread this important message about impaired driving. And once again, you drink, you drive, and you will lose. Thank you.